Hey Internet, it's RJ. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning into the show today. Now today is Sunday, so you know what that means. We're going around the net with all the news you can use in the week that was in credit and finance. Now on the docket for today, we have a bank acquisition to take a look at. We have BILT Rewards still taking moves despite their impending departure from Wells Fargo. And we have a new participant entering the airline lounge wars game. That's right, Southwest is joining the fight. So of course we'll take a look at all of that and more. So of course if that sounds interesting to you, go ahead, press the subscribe button, and let's get to work. Now, we will lead off with a merger and a story sent in by my own mother, no less. So, shout out. You can shout out my mom down below for this story. She saw it on the news and sent it to me, so thank you for that. And here we go. We're talking about Fifth Third buying Comerica Bank. So, it's a big story here. She probably crossed her news feed because Comerica's big presence in Michigan. I think they're headquartered here, actually. So Fifth Third acquiring Comerica, press release for you. The things you really want to know is how much. Well, $10.9 billion, all stock deal, puts the Comerica shareholders about $82.88, I want to say. And this does make Fifth Third become the ninth largest bank in the states with $288 billion under assets, so moves them into the top 10, which is not bad. Of course, they go on to say more nice things about one another, but overall, not too bad. Again, the funny thing locally, the story on the news is like, oh my gosh, they're going to change the name of Comerica Park. Comerica Park being where the Tigers play baseball. And unfortunately, they lost to the Mariners. So not going to the ALCS, but Red Sox guy, I did watch most of it. The game was on really late, but I've been watching most of the playoffs. Having a good time doing it, honestly. But anyhow, it's funny with stadium name changes. Like after a while, there are people who don't, like you just know it as Comerica Park, but there's many people who don't know that's like a bank, We've seen many stadiums change names, and people still call it the old names. I was surprised that was that big of a deal. On the promotional side, you don't really lose anything. Comerica very rarely had promotions, and all the ones that I saw, they were for Texas, which is weird because they have such a strong presence here in Michigan, but overall not too bad. Fifth Third, much better bank. I do like them. I just churned them a lot. They did deny being branched last time for a checking account earlier this summer, so hey. Anyways, there you go. Merger news. Congrats to them both becoming into the top 10 of banking. So moving right along to someone leaving the top 10 of banking, or leaving a top 10 banking partner, top 4 banking partner, I should say, is BILT Rewards. That part we know. BILT Rewards is going to move over to cardless, which makes these next stories interesting. Is BILT Rewards still making moves? So the first move sees BILT Rewards adding Etihad Guest Miles as a one-to-one transfer partner. BILT Rewards may very well have the most transfer partners at this point. They keep adding folks, but that's pretty par for the course. Good for them. If you can value, great. It's a one-to-one deal, so not too bad. The other one that's more of a leaked news, I guess you could say, they didn't put it out themselves, is that Rakuten, you'll be able to get BILT reward points from Rakuten. So if you take a look at this, I believe this was found on Reddit, as most things usually are, but you can see choosing how you get paid. This is someone going to cash out their points, and they can say BILT right down there under Amex points. They also did find this section here. This is note that you can't switch directly between BILT and American Express membership reward points. If you want to switch from BILT to membership reward points or vice versa, choose PayPal or Big Fat Check first, then select BILT or membership reward. For that seems overly complicated for no reason at all, but that was written there. So again, it's not that you can do it right now, but it looks like a leaked, like someone shouldn't have published that right away. So overall, not too bad. Like I said, it's nice to see them still making moves. I think the Rakuten one is nice. Again, it's nice that you can earn membership reward points, especially given that, one, you can save money through these shopping portals. I don't mess with them too much, but as you know, everyone's begging you to sign up for the Rakuten link, and it's hard to earn membership reward points in a wide range of categories, so that could help. Same with BILT Rewards. Again, they keep adding transfer partners, and it does make sense as BILT's trying to, I'll say, remind us that they have a platform aside from just the basic credit card. So more ways to earn points is good. Of course, we'll have to see the cash out rate. I would imagine it's going to be 1-to-1, but we'll have to see when it eventually comes out. So something to look forward to for some of you folks. Again, also nice to see that they're keeping some of this stuff moving to cardless, because that was kind of my thought. Like if you're moving to cardless, and we know they're going to bring out 3 different versions of the card, likely 3, how competitive would it be? It looks as if for right now, they're still trying to compete with more options, which is good. So there we go. Someone else competing hard with more options, 25 options to be precise, is Hilton. Hilton is rolling out a new property line, which happens to be their 25th line. See what I did there? Press release. Let's do it. Hilton today announced a launch of Outset Collection by Hilton, the company's 25th brand and 8th in its growing lifestyle portfolio. The new brand underscores Hilton's dramatic growth trajectory and focus on offerings for customers in the fast-growing segments, particularly the collection and lifestyle spaces. I don't know what any of that means. Like, what is it like? I just don't. What lifestyle? Okay, sure. Someone worked very hard on this. Let's skip to the parts you really want to know. The collection's first hotels will begin welcoming guests later this year, with bookings available on Hilton.com, of course. Starting in November at launch, Outset Collection will have more than 60 hotels in development with long-term growth potential of more than 500 across the U.S. and Canada. A diverse collection of hotels initially in the United States will put Hilton's signature hospitality in place. Guests, there we go, good enough. Oh, there, I should read that. That tells you where they're going to be at. Guests might not expect, ranging from urban destinations, small towns, adventure outposts, and offbeat hubs. Confirmed hotels in the collection include a base camp for exploration in Moab and boutique hotel in Chicago. There you go. I'm sure someone much more versed in travel will make a video about that. I like it better already. I'm a Marriott guy, but Marriott, the last chain we talked about last week was Marriott, and it was like this outdoor Marriott outside or some nonsense, and no one wants to go outside. So this one, at least you can stay inside, so I do like that a lot better. Look, it sounds fine. I get these things are just really lost on me. I mean, there are some hotels that are pretty cool, granted. Like, I understand that. It's at the end of the day, it's kind of like a hotel, I guess, right? But but I'm probably wrong. I'm not that person. So you let me know what you think of down below, and I'm sure we'll see some reviews and stuff. And, hopefully it's pretty cool. So something not so cool, but also surprising that it was still around, and I generally didn't know this, is X1 card. You remember that? That was the card that came out, and they were like, you're just gonna make a legit stainless steel. We'll have a drop test on our website. Robinhood ended up buying X1, which I believe became the foundation for the Robinhood card. Well, they've announced negative changes, but I genuinely didn't know they were still around. So, from the Doctor of Credit, X1 has sent out 2 emails to existing cardholders. 2 in 1 day is a rough day. That's kind of like that's up there with like smartly sending home the letter and then emailing you. But email number 1, good news, because you're an X1 cardholder, you've made it to the front of the line to apply for the Robinhood Gold Card. There are 3 million people on the wait list, and you're off of it. The Robinhood Gold Card offers 3%. That's crazy that it took that long. +5. Okay, so that's cool. We also updating X1 Rewards program rules starting on November 21st. Here's what's changing. Rewards will now be earned at a rate of $1.5 points per dollar spent. Boost will be eliminated. You can still redeem existing boost. Email number 2, we're adding late fees for cardholders who pay past their due date up to $40. That seems fair. We're changing the cash advance fee to 5%. That seems fine, or $10, whichever is greater. We're changing the return payment fee up to $40, and we're basically they're just trying to get rid of you, I think, because they can't outright change you to the gold card, because the gold card, well, it doesn't have an annual fee. You have to sign up for Robinhood Gold, the service, which I've said time and time again. I do believe Robinhood Gold card is a service, and weirdly enough, I did have a thought. There's like, how long can the other banks go ignoring Robinhood Gold as a service, before it becomes a problem for them? That's a future video topic we're working on. But anyhow, so they can't force change you because of that fee to go into the service. But it does sound like because you have the card, they're jumping you ahead. Well, that's exactly what it says. They're jumping you ahead of the line, which is hilarious because there's some people who are finding the Robinhood Gold card through Credit Karma, and they can just get it. And there's other people who are like, I've been on the wait list since day one. No idea how to get off of it. And I guess this is top of mind, the whole Robinhood Gold thing. So like last week's video, I had talked about just trying to replace my Smartly card, and Robinhood Gold was in consideration. The wait list being one of the issues of like, I didn't look in Credit Karma or anything, but it's like, how do you get the card? So it makes a lot of sense. I don't even know yes, these are all technically negative changes. I think it just brings X1 more in line with how regular credit cards operate, and makes it less appealing for the folks hanging on to. They will obviously want you to jump. So there you go. But someone else who, of course, wants you to jump in our last story of the day to their credit cards is Southwest. And as we've said, Southwest has been on an absolute tear over the last 6 to 8 months. They've revamped their loyalty program. They've caused problems, but then they solve those problems with credit cards, of course, like check bags, picking seats, that whole thing. Well, now they're sending out more surveys, and they're not even asking you. They're asking you questions, but they're just saying, hey, we're going to get into the airport lounge game. in Southwest Hub. So if you take a look at this, I think I got this from View from the Wing. But if you take a look at it, some of the right there, Southwest Airlines will be opening premium airport lounges in multiple Southwest hubs. Access Southwest premium airport lounges up to $700 in value, complimentary and unlimited access for primary card member to Southwest premium airport lounges, offering, there you go, Wi-Fi, food, all that good stuff. So they're asking a bunch of other stuff, it's like benefits. So the lounges, they ask you that, priority pass, global entry. How do you feel about this stuff? Preferred seat selection, free round trip tickets, valued up to $400 after $25K in spend. Other benefits like travel credits, flight credits, extra legroom confirmations. Clear membership is on here, ride share. It's on. I'll put the screens on from the survey because they also compare it Southwest cards to other cards as well and let people pick. It just makes a lot of sense. They're just copying from. They're really just kind of copying from the airlines and really American Express's playbook, which everyone kind of has. Airlines obviously had their own lounges, and then Amex had Centurion, and then for the longest time, then Capital One and Chase said we should do that as well. I still think Capital Ones are pretty good. They're kind of like everything that you need, not over the top. Then Chase is following suit, obviously. So if you're Southwest, you're not only copying your other airline partners. Delta, Sky Club. Delta's added lounges for its top tier flights. Of course, there's Admirals Club. United's got United Club, Polaris Lounge, on and on and on. Everyone has them. They've got home airports, St. Louis, it comes to mind, right? I think last time I was in a Southwest-based terminal, it actually wasn't too bad. It was dual. It wasn't as bad as you think. I don't know how they get a bad rap, but it was okay. So anyhow, it's funny enough because coming through the Southwest terminal, there was actually above it, there was like a line to the sky. I forget what airport this was, maybe Denver or something. But anyhow, there was a line to get into the Centurion Lounge all the way down from the concourse through the escalator. It was crazy. So I guess it makes perfect sense for them to do this. What are we talking about? I feel like it's going to be like a priority pass type deal, but best case scenario, it's probably on par with like a Capital One type lounge, which isn't bad. I like the Capital One lounge I've been to years ago. And again, it'll definitely be a tie-in to their most premium credit card, I would imagine, and then the rest will be based on, flying status. I think they'll skip ahead and just go straight to like what we've seen Delta and those guys do. Like, well, you have to be flying on a certain fare class. You can't do basic economy, to get it, or the top tier premium credit card. I do wonder if they just start out with those passes versus like their top tier card. Get you in order. They even just launch another card because they did just kind of revamp the card. So do they just launch like a fourth card in the lineup? Then that has the access as well. But if you can get the space in your home airports, which are hub airports, which I imagine you could, being such a big player in certain spots, it makes a lot of sense to do. So, plus it gives us something else to take a look at. Now, again, they're just talking about this. I think we've got a ways to go before we actually see these start to materialize. It took quite a while for Capital One and Chase to get theirs off the ground as well. So don't think it's going to be a tomorrow thing, but it has really been fascinating to watch the transformation of Southwest as they just kind of realize, hey, why don't we just do what they're doing? Like, we could just do that and have more money, and it would be fine. And so I think it's a solid playbook. I just love to see how those boardroom meetings went. So there you go. Let me know what you would like to see in a Southwest lounge. What would you pay for it? I know some of you guys just love all the expensive credit cards, so I imagine maybe this will convince our guy Leo out there to pick up a Southwest card. But anyways, guys, that's been the news. Of course, if you liked it, drop me a thumbs up down below. If you found it particularly interesting, consider subscribing to the channel. So we're posting content just like this every single week, and of course, right back every Sunday with all the news you can use in the week that was in credit and finance. And of course, every single day over on ProfitableContent.com, which is the channel's blogs, always linked down below for you. We post news stories just like this, plenty of bank promotions, and of course we have credit card offers as well, some of which may even get you into a lounge. Anyways, guys, that'll do it for this one. As always, thanks so much for watching. I'll talk to you very soon next week.